I want to be shoot with an ND filter when I'm shooting on my camera. What's the point of having, an iPhone or a phone that's capable of log profile and you're not using it to its potential? So I want to be able to fit this guy on a gimbal that I'm going to be using. So when I'm out there, I could accessorize it and put stuff onto it. And I think Hohem did exactly that. This has got to be the most talked about phone gimbal on the market to date. Let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. And today I'm talking about the brand new Hohem iSteady M7 mobile gimbal. This thing is so amazing. I've had a few days to play with it and to understand its full potential, and I'm super in love with it. Full disclosure, Hohem did send me this gimbal, but no money has been exchanged. They've just reached out to me and asked me if I would like to review their gimbal, and I took it on board. But first, here's a short clip that I filmed just using this gimbal entirely. Yeah, did you enjoy that? Yeah, I filmed this whole thing just using the Hohem M7 gimbal. It is so good. It's the perfect tool for independent solo creative. Now, the first thing you'd notice about this gimbal is its size and how it stacks up to your ideal vlogging gimbal or your more professional gimbals for, let's say, mirrorless cameras. It's quite big, but don't be put off by the size of it. It's not heavy. It's made from premium plastic and some aluminium. So the weight it's not a thing. It's very easy and lightweight to put around. It's well balanced, I think, and it handles this setup pretty well. Hohem has outdid themselves with this gimbal setup. So let's talk about some of the stuff that makes this gimbal like wow factor. You get a quick magnetic detachable AI tracker that you can use without an app or Bluetooth. You can use your hand gestures like the OK sign to start the AI and your palm sign to stop it. You get a 360-degree sensitive tracking, so it spins completely around, no need to worry about it stopping. The AI tracker also has the ability to change from warm to cold. It's also a RGB fill light and a CCT fill light, which has been increased by 50% from the last one. It comes with a detachable screen, a 1.4-inch OLED colored fully touch screen with real live preview, so you can see exactly what you're filming through this little remote, which is a game changer. You can pause tracking with the remote, you can start tracking, you can reframe, you can if you're struggling with framing, you can have grid lines on the screen, and it works with the system and any app. Like literally, you don't need to use Hohem's Joy app. It is that good. This gimbal also, and this is the big game changer for this gimbal, it also comes fully capable of handling up to 500 grams of payload. So, for example, as a content creator, as a professional, I should say, I would want to rig out my phone. I won't just want to slap my phone on a gimbal and film because my brain is trained. I have to get the best of the best. I also like to use my back-facing camera for the best quality of image you can get, because we all know that that's why we buy these phones, to use the back cameras instead of the front. So this would be my setup. Literally, this is my iPhone 16 Pro with a Noir cage, and as you can see, I've got an ND filter slapped on there. This gimbal does not struggle to keep that, and I love that about this. It also comes with this, a built-in extendable arm up to 193 millimeter in length. And I don't think I've ever seen a gimbal that can hold such a heavy payload with an extendable stick, which is great. And what you can use this for is those fake drone shots or those top down shots that you'd like to get. It allows you to get those low down angles, so no more of the bending of the back. I entirely love this gimbal. The gimbal has a lock to lock all its axes so that you can travel with this gimbal knowing that it's safely tucked away in your bag. This gimbal doesn't only track humans, it tracks animals and subjects, even my drone. I got this gimbal to track my drone when I was in the park yesterday. That's crazy. So let's talk about some of the stuff you get with this gimbal when you purchase it. Now, on powering up the gimbal, you are greeted with a beautiful 1.4-inch OLED display screen. This screen is super sharp and nice and fluid and easy to control, and you can do everything you need to do from this control. You can control how sensitive your motions are from the control, the speed, the scenarios that you're in, the functions of the gimbal. You can do all of that, but at the same time you can do that by just pressing buttons on the remote. So here you have the joy wheel, which controls the up and down and side motion, well, all motions of the gimbal. You have your start and stop record button. You have this little orange jag wheel, I would like to call it. When you're in the Hohem app, it allows you to pull focus or zoom in and out fluidly. You have a mode button, which allows you to cycle through the different modes of the gimbal. Then on the right side here, there's another button which has some different functionalities, which we will go in further details. Now let's turn the gimbal to the side and show you some other bits. On this side here, you're greeted with the on and off switch, your charging port, which is USB-C, and your Q20 for accessories. If we turn the gimbal around to the front, you're now greeted with the trigger, which helps you recenter the gimbal, and it also has some different functionalities which we're going later. The beautiful M7 logo, and then on the left of the gimbal, we have the famous multi-function wheel, and that wheel has got some different functions which we'll go into later, but it's quite nice and dampened. And if you notice, it's got a button in the middle which allows you to switch the fill light on top of the gimbal. You have your A and B points, and this is great if you are doing pan or automatic pan, maybe with you in the photo, or you wanna just set in and out points where you want the gimbal to automatically circle towards. Now, let's go back to where we started. And now I will detach this remote here. Right now I've got the remote in my hands. I'm gonna walk you through some of the functionalities that this gimbal is capable of. Like I said, you have the joystick that controls the gimbal. You have the start and stop record on the gimbal. You have your mode dial, which helps you select through the different modes of the gimbal. If you go to the scenario bit, you have your rotation, which helps you to do the 360 rotation, because the gimbal is capable of doing a 360 pan. You can exit that and come back to wherever. You can set the parameters of how fast and the direction of travel from here. It has the wide angle mode. This is a very, very great function to use. If you're using the wide angle lens on your camera, you simply press that and the gimbal will perform a move that would change it from, would put the gimbal arm behind we'll put the gimbal arm behind the phone so that you have a clearer picture on the front. You press that again, and that will set it back to its original state. You've got a panoramic stuff, and that's more for photos and stuff, time lapse and all of that stuff. You can do that from here. If you go into the F for the roller function, that's the wheel I showed you earlier on the side, you can customize it to command any of these functions. So you can set it to control your tilt, your roll, your pan, your light. You can set it to control the brightness of the light. You can set it to control the different colors of the RGB light, which we will get into a little bit later on. You could then put the light from here on, off. You can then go into here and control the brightness, the temperature of the light. You can also control the RGB light from here. You can also control the brightness of the light from inside this. So everything can be done from the remote. You don't even need to do anything from the gimbal, but at the same time, you can control it all from the gimbal. Now, if we come back out to the controller, as you can see, it's still very bright. It tells you if all your axes are working. Now, here's a great feature that this gimbal offers you that many gimbal in its today don't even offer. If you swap all the way over, you notice I now have a image, and this is the image of what the AI sensor is seeing. But here's the great thing about this. You can tap anything. So if I just tap on that, if you notice there's a green light around that subject, and that means that the AI sensor is now ready to track the subject. If you wanted to pause and reframe that, you press the button on the right and it will pause the box. If you notice, the box is now yellow, and you can reframe the gimbal to wherever you want. Let's just say here. And then if you want to start tracking again, activate the tracking again, you just press that and it will literally be green again. This is amazing. Now, the tracker can be switched over, and all you need to do is literally unclick here and put it in the direction that you want to start tracking. Now, something to note, guys. If you look on the LCD screen, it's very easy to misjudge your framing because it's a different aspect ratio to your phone. But here's a solution for that. If you hold the button on the right, you will notice you got some red lines coming up there, and now you actually have grid lines like you would have on your phone. And this will help you probably reframe your composition a lot better, because now you have grid lines to help you fine-tune your framing. And this is something I noticed a lot of people hadn't really spoken about. I don't know if they know the function is there or not, but you can literally use the side button to activate this grid lines, and it will help you reframe and to get rid of them, you simply hold them down. Now, there's some functions that this button actually does, and we're going to go through them. If you press it 3 times, it will put the camera into it will flip the camera around to shoot the back camera towards you. And if you press it 3 times again, it will put the camera around. If you flip it 4 times, it will go into wide angle mode, which is where it puts the joint of the gimbal towards the back, so you have a clearer view of the front. You press that 4 times again, and it will put it back into the starting point. Now let me jump in here real quick and talk about the roller wheel, which I mentioned earlier. It's very nice and dampened, it's fluid, and it has a few functions up its sleeve. If you long press the center button, that will put on the power, the CCT light, and then you can control the brightness through the wheel. Nice and fluid. If you click it once, it will take you to the color temperature, which you can make it bright or cold. If you click it 3 times, it will take you to the RGB light, which you can change colors if you fancy that. If you go 3 times back, it will go back to normal, and you could switch it off by long pressing it. Now you can actually set this roller wheel for other functions. So if you go into roller control, which is on your remote, you can set it to be a focus puller, tilt, if you want to do some fine tuning on the tilt of the gimbal. You can set it to roller, which if you want to do, like, again, some fine tuning on the gimbal. You can do to pan. Again, if you want precision placement of where you want your phone to be pointing, you can literally go in there and really, really dial in those functionalities. And let's not forget the trigger and its function. So first up, the trigger is there for several functionalities. The first one is if you want to recenter the gimbal quickly, you just double tap on it and it will recenter it. If you triple tap the trigger, it would switch the camera around for you so you can film either using the back facing camera or the front facing camera. You press it 3 times again and the gimbal will rotate back around again. If you press it 4 times, the gimbal will go into wide angle mode. And if you press it 4 times again, the gimbal will return to its original state. Now let's jump into the Hohem Joy app. It's a very, very nice app for people who don't mind not being able to shoot in log profile or shoot in another app. It's very, very good. It's good for quick and easy vlogging, and the tracking system works pretty similar, or if not the same as the AI tracker. So to start the tracking on the Hohem app is pretty much the same. You give it the OK sign and it should grab a box around your head, and if you move like side to side, it's pretty good. Now at the moment I have the tilt lock, so it won't do up and down until I go into the settings and change that. So let's change that quickly. So to stop, it's the same. Now if I go into settings here and I've got track tilt, so now it should be able to track me up and down. Let's try that again. So start tracking, and now it should be able to, yep, go up and down, up and down. And why would you lock the up and the tilt lock? Is if you're filming and you want to keep a steady shot and you don't want a jerky image, then it's good to keep that off. But if you don't mind, and if you want to catch the kids and you really want to catch some dynamics and you didn't mind, then you put that on. Now you can also record from the Joy app by using hand gesture. You cannot do that on the tracker, but you can use the remote to stop recording. And how you would start recording on the Joy app, simple. You just give it the P sign and it will be a countdown and it would start recording you. To stop the recording, you give it the P sign again and it will stop the recording. Now that's really easy. Now just to jump in here real quick, you have quite a few things going on here. You have moments, so it comes jam-packed with these preloaded things that you can use. You have video, photo, pan. You can go live if you want to go live stream as well. It's very, very good for the people who want a simpler way of recording and not too concerned about filming professionally in terms of, sorry, I shouldn't say professionally because you can film professionally, but who doesn't mind not filming in a log profile, because the Joy app offers so much. So that's it, guys. I hope you fully enjoy that video. There's so much on the internet about this gimbal, and like I said, I didn't really want to be here talking about everything and anything because it's been out for a while now and there's tons of information on the market, but this is my take on the gimbal. I love it. It'll be my new go-to gimbal because it offers me everything I need and more to be able to use my phone when I'm on holiday or just on a day-to-day. I love shooting in log, so I am definitely going to be using this, and I like tracking things. There's so much you can track manually. When you have a tracker that moves so smoothly, it helps a ton. I don't know how much more I can tell you about this gimbal, but I think Hohem did a number on this one. They did an amazing job creating the perfect mobile phone gimbal. Let me know in the comment section down below if I've missed anything. Is there anything else that you want to me to talk about? But for now, peace. Before the critiques come for me because I use this gimbal to track a drone, I know, and I fully well know, that no one would probably use this to track a drone. But I did that test purely to show how amazing this AI tracker is. So please, don't come for me. Look on the bright side. I'm helping you figure out how good this thing is. Now, let me leave you with this video of me making coffee using the Hohem iSteady M7. Peace out. Love you all.